Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever you call me. I know I've been gone for a while, guys. I've been going through a lot, working a lot, dealing with a relationship. It's just been a lot. Um, but today we're going to talk about sex and soul ties. I've seen posts about men cheating and women not understanding the process or men not understanding the process. It's sad that people take this thing lightly because, one, it's a religious ritual, okay? When you have sex, you are combining souls to feel complete, okay? That's number one. That's why we don't play with that. And those that do play with it, they have some mental issues. It's something that you just can't be out here running in and out or having different men and women a part of you. Okay? The way God designed it is one man, one woman. And people tend to go astray with that, okay, for whatever reason, okay? Instead of them just saying, this relationship is not for me. Not everybody you meet is your mate, okay? If your body mentally and physically it does not complete with a person, you should not get married, okay? I get sometimes we want the wedding, just to say we're married and all these different things. However, you're destroying your life, okay? And I'm going to just put it as easy as possible. When I say you're destroying your life, you're not going to be happy, okay? I'm going to start to break things down so y'all can get a little bit of understanding. And y'all know I always use myself. I don't like to talk about other people and other people's relationships because I don't know their feelings and what they go through. However, I can tell you about myself and the things that I've experienced in the years on this earth, dealing with relationships and dealing with God. Okay? If your man that you're dealing with, say you meet a man, okay, and you decide you say you was with someone else and you decide to lay down with this man, you will not get soul attached to this person right away because you got to get to know him. You got to get to accept him, okay, unless you bond without, you have mental intimacy, okay, because you can have mental intimacy with a person as well, okay. And I'll talk about that at the end of this podcast. But sexually wise, bodies attached to bodies, the energy combining to become whole. When you use a condom, it takes away from that feeling. So it's really hard so you still bond, but you don't bond completely. Okay? When that condom comes off, that's when the true bonding starts. Because now it's skin to skin. So the energy becomes more full instead of something blocking it. We tell people to be honest, not only because of diseases, pregnancy, and different things like that, we have to think about God as well. When God combines those two energies and they start to attach, if that male gets up, because most of the time it's the males that cheat. If that male gets up and decides he wants to go out and cheat because he doesn't want the soul attachment with you that he's getting, all he's doing is taking that soul attachment that he has with you in the bed with the next woman. Okay? And that's what a lot of men don't understand. So instead of trying to force a relationship, you let go. And the way to let go is both have to be in agreement to walk away. And be happy with it. It may hurt a little, but you have to be happy with it, your decision, and move on. So eventually it will slowly fade, and that way you can bond with the next mate. And I'm going to use myself, for instance, like me and my daughter's father, we were together for 16 years. Okay, y'all know if we was together for 16 years, we had a major soul attachment. 16 years is a long time. So even though he would try to go and cheat, he would never get a full attachment to that person or even deal. We broke up a few times and he would go and deal with other women. Okay, and he would never get a full attachment to these women, or these women couldn't get a full attachment to him because I was still in his soul. Okay, so we can break up. We will break up. It would last no longer than 2 to 3 months, and we're right back together, because that's pretty much the time frame it takes for you to move on and start seeing a different. How do I want to put it? Start seeing things differently for you to slowly let go of that person. Okay? The moment that you see that it's becoming really, really hard after a month or 2 months, that means y'all are completely bonded. I'm going to use my daughter's father, and then I'm going to go into another relationship I had, and I'm going to break it down to y'all a little bit so y'all can understand this process. Okay, this is why we tell people don't cheat, because what happens is you bring negative energies into a positive energy or a good energy, and it starts to bring problems. You start to feel uneasy. You start to feel like, okay, I shouldn't be here, or I don't really want to be here, or, you know, the energies are off. And this is why. This is why we tell people to make the decision. Do not force the decision. Be honest. Okay? And my daughter's father came to me after 16 years. We was already not having too much sex anyway. It was starting to fade. And he came to me and he said, I had already told him, I said, find you someone else. I said, because we're not having sex. So at this point, I'm already, my soul tie is already starting to break. I'm still attached to you. I still love you as a person. But we already have broken that soul tie and that energy. So at this point, I want to move on and find someone else, because my soul tie has broken from this man, and he was feeling the same way. So when he came to me and said, I want to move on, I was okay with it because our soul ties was already broken. Okay? We still had some attachment, but not full attachment. So when he came to me, honestly, and said, hey, I don't want this no more, I was able to say, okay, I'm in agreement. It's okay for you to move on. I'm okay with it. We had some issues because he didn't leave the relationship totally right, financial wise, because he did owe me some money, and that turned into a big old bill. And we have a daughter in common. He really didn't have to leave the state to break the soul tie because the soul tie was already broken. But I felt some kind of way because he had to leave his daughter behind in order to move on. So that kind of bothered me. Other than that, when it came to the sex part of it, or the sexual experiences of it, and the soul ties of it, I was okay with it. I was fine. He could have walked around where we live at with another girl, and I wouldn't have said nothing because the soul tie was broken. It was no longer, because we chose not to keep it alive. It's very important in a relationship. It's very important in a marriage, okay, that you keep that. That's why I tell women, do not withhold sex from your husband. Because every time you withhold sex from him, you're breaking that soul tie. And then you say, oh, I wonder if he's cheating. Yeah, he's cheating, because you can feel it. Things are different because he brought another soul into your area. You can feel that energy. The moment that he lays down with another woman and bring that soul into your space, you feel it. That's why, I look at a post on Facebook, I think it's Facebook or Instagram, where the girl says, I think my man is cheating. And no, I think it's a Medea thing. I'm not sure. And then I think it's Medea that says, oh, you think your man is cheating? And you say, yeah. Okay, then he's cheating. Because the energy is off. You can tell. If you're soul bonded, even though your man is cheating, don't mean that it could just go away. If y'all were truly, truly in love and soul bonded and soul attached, it don't just go away like that. No matter what you say in your mind, okay, I'm not dealing with this person. I don't want to deal with this person. It's not going to go away. It's a process. As much as you move on, you can move on to 10 different women after that. But if it was not completely broken, those relationships will not work. You will be unhappy because you're still carrying that person with you. Now I'm going to use another relationship I had. I was mentally attached to this other person. We more so had mental intimacy. Okay? But he wanted physical intimacy, which I didn't want that. I was enjoyed I enjoyed the mental intimacy, which I felt was better for us. But of course, he's not educated in how sex rituals go and work. So he just knew that he needed me to feel whole. Okay? And I told him, I said, I don't want this. I just want to be friends. And what we experience as mental intimacy will continue to be there. But the sexual part of it, I don't want. He couldn't accept that. He didn't want to accept that. I'm the type, I'm not about drama, so I'm not going to start a big argument or fight. I'm just going to try to get you to see and understand. So I didn't, start a bunch of crap trying to get him to understand me. And understand the process. So I shedded tears, and he said, well, what you crying for? I said, I'm crying for you. And he didn't understand that. The reason why he didn't understand it is because he doesn't understand God. And he doesn't understand the process of soul attachment. So at this point, he was becoming attached to me. At this point, he wouldn't do certain things thinking that would make it worse, but we were already attached. We was already attached mentally. And we took it to the sexual ritual of becoming whole. Once that happens, there's no breaking that until you are in agreement. So he decides to break up with me. For whatever reason, he don't want to commit 100%. And all he's doing is destroying himself. That's what happens. When you don't want to commit after you've been soul attached, you destroy yourself. You destroy your soul. Okay. You got to either let go or go in full force. And that's just the way it works. Those are the type of people you want to marry. The one that you have mental and physical intimacy with. That you are attached mentally and physically. He wanted to continue to do what he do. And so he broke up with me. I said, okay. And I'm just in the background and I'm just saying to myself, you just going to hurt yourself throughout this process. But I already know the process. I'm just watching. I'm sitting back and I'm watching. Because you can't tell people anything. You tell them, and then they look at you like you're crazy, And you're like, okay, go ahead and hurt yourself throughout the process. So he tells me he don't want to be with me no more and lose his number. And I'm like, okay, fine. Now I start my process because he told me physically to lose his number. So I said, okay. So now I have to detach myself from him. New places, new things, new people. Slowly, slowly, slowly. I decided to, a friend of mine, I decided to take a trip with. And I knew when you take a trip with someone, you're with that person 24 hours of a day. And if it's for 4 days, for whatever, how many hours that is. Okay? Which mental attachment and mental intimacy starts to begin. If you have a liking up for this person. Because you're together, y'all are together, y'all are in the car together, y'all are at the hotel together, y'all are experiencing new things together, y'all making memories together. That's the process. You wouldn't ride out with this person if you wasn't comfortable with this person. So you already trust them. That part is already gone and done. That's complete. The trust part. Now, can I have fun with this person? Now, being that I know the process, I wrote my ex that told me to get away. I wrote him and I said, listen, I'm about to take a trip with someone else. And I need to know if you are serious about this breakup. Because it's almost 3 months and I'm already detached from you, but I don't want no drama when we come back together. I mean, when I come back with this guy and we are soul attached. I need to know where your heart stands and your energy stands, because I can't have drama, no drama. For one, I'm a mother, and I take it seriously being a mother. I can't have men fighting and arguing and me arguing and fighting, and I can't have that. So I have to make sure that what you say is what you say. And what you say is what you mean, okay? Because I'm too old to be a man outside my window trying to break my windows and my car windows because he think I'm cheating. Or trying to fight me because he thinks I'm cheating because he wasn't fully detached. Okay? This is when the fighting and all that other stuff comes about. This is why you need to make sure you are fully detached. Now, I go with this guy. Now, I never had intentions on bonding with this guy sexually. We was building a mental intimacy. And I knew once I took this trip with him that it was going to happen. Because it happens with everyone. Anytime you're with someone for a long period of time, you build that mental intimacy. You know, you ever heard of being around someone and you start picking up their ways, or if you're not picking up their ways, they can say something and you can finish the sentence, or you may say, hey, you want to do so? Hey, that sounds great. I was thinking of that. It's because they have mental intimacy. They're bonded. So when things like that starts happening, you already know you have mental intimacy. So when I get back, this guy in us says, man, the mental intimacy was great. I wonder what it's like if we fully bond, you know? We decided to bond further. But here comes this other one that was still soul attached. And I told him before I moved on with this new guy, make sure that this is what you want. Because you're going to get hurt. You either let go or let me know now that we should continue to work on our relationship. So our souls were still attached. So he was able to feel when I laid with this man. But he's the one that said, let's break up. So you see how it works? You can feel it. You're running from something that you're attached to. So when I shedded those tears, he didn't understand why. Because I already seen the pattern that he was going down and that he was going to do nothing but hurt himself. Because I know the process of soul attachment. I know the process of love. I know the process of falling in love. It's a wonderful thing if you do it right. It can have you on cloud nine if you do it right. But when you don't have both parties doing things the way it's supposed to be done, that's when the chaos sets in. Love overrules because God is love. And if you love something, everything else goes out the window or wherever. You get rid of it. And that's the way it works. You cannot stop love because you will hurt yourself. So now, my other mates is saying, now mind you, me and this guy was apart for almost 3 months. I'm going to tell y'all this. His birthday was coming, right? And this is after he told me to lose his number. His birthday was on its way. So I bought him a birthday gift. Anyway, because my soul was still attached. Even though I said to myself, okay, I mean, I'll never get back with this guy, but I'm going to buy this birthday gift just in case because I still feel him. I still feel his energy. And I bought him a birthday gift. When we came back from this new mate, we came back and we were on cloud nine because we know how God works. So we was like, hey, thank you, God, for this great feeling of life and love. We were happy, but he wasn't. Because that was supposed to be him. He cheated himself out of love, out of feeling great, out of having the soul attachment. So, my new mate started feeling some kind of way. And it's expected because here you come trying to destroy or bring chaos into this beautiful feeling that we're having over here. Of course he's going to feel some kind of way. I felt some kind of way. That's when the chaos starts. That's why you have to make sure that the other person is totally detached. Now I'm starting to see within my new mate, jittery, upset all the time. Why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. Because I wasn't fully detached from this other person. This is why it's happening. Now I got him, the other person, calling saying, oh, I'm not feeling good. I love you. I need you. I want you. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, dude, I'm in another relationship. But it's still bringing the energy because we are still soul attached. When he should have just went through the process instead of trying to fight the process. This is why you don't cheat and you don't lie. Because you bring hurt and chaos to yourself. It doesn't hurt nobody but you. So now, that negative energy is coming into me and the new mate's life that was on cloud 9. We was living a life. Couldn't be better. We would just look at each other and smile. We just be quiet and just smile. Because we're there, we're soul attached. So we mentally and physically. So it's like, okay, whatever. We don't care what we doing. We're just here. That's what being in love is about. Y'all want to be together to feel complete. Even if you don't even say anything to each other. You just know each other's there. It's a wonderful feeling. But then when you got that other soul attachment on the side keep coming in, it destroys what you have with this new person. This is why you have to let go fully. There is no, by this point, when you're fully soul attached, there is no, well, we can be friends. It is none of that. It has to go through a process. It took me and my daughter's father almost a year to actually talk about co-parenting. Because our souls were still attached. So we was fighting. Our souls was fighting each other. In the sleep, awoke, it didn't matter. We was fighting. Because we didn't want to let the process go. Because that was the process that we were used to. Finally, we let it go. And I was able to move on. So now, my new mate, he starts feeling uneasy because of this other person with his soul attachment trying to come back in. But remember, you said you didn't want it, so you should have been in agreement with yourself. And this is why I tell people, don't say things you don't mean. You may be angry. You may not like what a person is saying to you. You might not like what a person is doing. But it's better to voice your opinion based on what they are feeling and you are feeling, instead of just saying, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. Because the moment that you say that and it's not true, you begin to start the process on hurt with yourself. I tell people to read the Bible because you know the process of love. You learn the process of love and how you're supposed to do it. Now, I'm going to tell you something I used to do. I would text my boyfriend back to back. I'd be having stuff to tell him. He won't pick up the phone. He won't text back. So I texted him a whole book. And he came to me and he said, why you keep doing that? I said, because I be trying to tell you stuff. And he's like, okay, but stop doing that. No, I'm not going to stop doing it until you fix the issue. The issue is, if you picked up the phone and called me and then let me get my emotions or my whatever I need to express, then I can stop texting you. But he didn't want to fix his part in order for me to fix mine. That means you need to touch base every single day, morning and nights, so I can tell you how my day went and get it off my chest. Because I'm soul attached to you now. So being that I'm soul attached to you, you are the one that I point to throw my problems off so I can get the love back from you. And vice versa. That's the way it works. Because you're the closest to me. Once we are soul attached, you become the closest to that person. And if you don't do your part, you bring chaos. And it was simple. All he had to do was pick up the phone once or twice a day and say, hey, what's going on? How was your day? Oh, honey, let me tell you. Oh, this happened, blah, 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 blah. Well, how you feeling now? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then proceed. Well, enough about me. How was your day? That's the way it works. When you sign up to be soul attached with a person, you have to complete the job. Or it becomes chaos. And that's just what it is. That's the way it's designed. I knew that if he didn't change, we wouldn't be able to make it. But because he's stubborn, he wants to do things his way, and that's not the right way, it was going to be a hard ordeal. That's why I shedded tears, because you didn't want to let go. You want to hold on to something that you cannot commit to. And that's what most people do. It's not easy building a relationship on top of having a soul attachment. But if you follow through with the way things are supposed to be done, you remain happy. Because both parties are happy. Not one person is being stubborn to the way they want things to be. It's not how you want things to be. It's the way God designed it to be. And see, that's what people mess up at. That's why they don't be happy. They get in a relationship 1-2 years and it's over because they don't know how to submit. And you're not submitting to them, to that person. You're submitting to God. That's what people fail to realize. God said, I will give you happiness as long as you follow what I tell you to follow. Just like when me and the guy, I knew the guy for quite a while. We just decided to ride out. I needed to get something done, and he decided to help me with it. And when we came back, we was in love on cloud 9. God said, perfect match. There y'all go. Happiness. I went and meditated and prayed on it. Because I'm a meditator. That's what I do in order to clean my soul, in order to release things. And all I kept hearing was the new mate's name. Like, God is like, forget that other one and get with this over here because it's happiness over here. But he kept trying to come in. Okay? So I said, God, what do I do with this? Because I don't like drama. I live in peace. That's what I stand for. I have a whole nonprofit, and the biggest word on the on my card, on my logo, is peace. So how do I deal with this? Now, meanwhile, he thinks by being quiet or not coming in all the time that he was creating peace. No, you was creating soul detachment so I can move on with somebody else. But you have to be sure that this is what you want, because this is what you're doing. This is why you don't play with God. Because God will show you. And sometimes it will even destroy you. You ever seen people, oh my God, my boyfriend hurt me so bad, it just hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Well, it was something that you wasn't doing to complete the happiness. So don't cry about it now. You did this to yourself. It's a lesson learned. But now you move on with the next person. You know the process. And hopefully they will know the process. And they won't do what you've done to destroy it. People think, oh, you pick up and move. That if you always around them, you can stop them from cheating. A man could be sitting right in front of your face and he's on the phone with somebody else, texting back and forth. If they're not fully soul attached to you. Now, I told the old mate, I said, listen, either we're going to go full force or we have to let go. This is what we need to do to go full force, to complete the happiness. He denied it. He didn't want to do those things. Okay, that's fine. We're no longer in a relationship. So now, the soul detachment begins. But we're still going to be attached because it's still fresh. Now, if they're strong enough to stay away, but they can't keep pulling your soul back when they get hurt by somebody else or things are not working with somebody else because you didn't complete your soul attachment over here. You have to go through the process. And you can't keep going. You break up for 6-7 months with a person and then decide to go back because the soul attachment is already gone. There's no need to go back. You move on. It doesn't work that way. I tell people about if your mate doesn't come back into your life within 7 to 14 days after a breakup, they have already started that process. The longest is about 3 months for a full soul detachment. If that person's not fully soul detachment within 3 months, they're carrying your soul with them because they knew they did something wrong and they no longer feel complete. They feel you leaving them. But there can be no more. Once you detach that soul, it will not come back together because there will be other people that their souls have attached to. That's why you have to be sure when you are breaking up a relationship. You have to be sure. You can't just go out here and, oh, well, I'm going to go deal with this chick for a little bit and deal with this one, see what this one is about and see what that one is about. You can't do that. You can't test drive your relationships because you are creating soul attachments, which creates chaos. And that's just what happens. That's the way God designed it. If a person is truly a believer in God, they would know. That's why I don't believe in the Muslim religion. Okay? And it's not that their teachings are totally bad. It's one thing that they messed up with me. And that's having multiple wives. You can't be attached to different souls and think peace is going to come out of it. So why would they even implement that? Now, mind you, we have Muslim religion here in America. We don't really honor that too much here in America. However, they honor it, I guess, in other countries. A man could have 7 wives. I think it's 7. And best to believe, don't none of them really care about him. Because it's too many soul attachments. It's too many different souls connected. And everybody has a different soul. And he's carrying these 7 souls with him on a daily basis. So then he begins to get sick, mentally and physically. And most of the time, those type of men die. They created too much chaos in their soul. Because you can't have all these different souls and different energies moving through your mind and your body and around you. It's not a balance. This is why in the book of Revelations, all of the religions will be destroyed. Because there's things that people implemented into these religions that actually went against God. I 100% agreeance with the fasting with the Muslims. I'm 100% agreeance with them staying amongst each other. I'm 100% in agreeance of them creating peace within the community and teachings. But I'm not in 100% agreeance with that. See, as Christians, we do different things. We do things differently. We do them all godly. And we try to do it all godly. Because we're all sinners. We were born sinners. That's why Jesus Christ died on the cross for us. Until we learn the way God works. We talk highly about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is what moves through us to tell us whether or not we should do something or not. And how we should do it. But the moment that you let the devil in, it tears things apart. So when the Muslims came about, they decided to have all these women and kill themselves. You only need one woman. And God gives you a soul attachment, meaning that you enjoy the mental and the physical of a person. You don't need another woman. People make up their own stories about different things about the Bible and create their understanding about the Bible. But God designed it man and woman. You didn't hear anything about, this one with his 7 wives and all of his kids. You didn't hear none of that. Not in the original Bible. It was the prophet and his wife and their children. And they continued to build and build and build. That's the way it works. That's the Christian way. So I say that to say, be careful when you decide to deal with all these different souls, because you don't know what their soul been through. And that's the other thing. You don't know what a person, this was a person look good. They can be the most evil person ever. Is this a mask they're putting up? That's why even with friends, you make soul attachments with friends too. Their soul could have been through pure hell, and you're carrying their soul around. And they never healed from any of the things that they've been carrying. And you're carrying their soul too. And you wonder why everything is going wrong. The people in your life have to be true. And you would know it's true within a certain amount of time. Because everything will go good. Not everything, but everything. Majority of everything will go good. If a problem persists, it will be an easy fix. That's how we know that we have completed the soul tie and the happiness. I'll never forget, I'm going to go back to my daughter's father. We met at a job, and the job was just stressing us both out. And we was looking at each other like, I'm ready to go. And he said, me too. So I quit. And he quit. And I said, well, why would you quit? We both can't quit. And he said, we'll be all right. And I'm like, oh my God. I was kind of worried. And then I put it in the hands of God. I got me a job. Another job. And I said, oh, this job ain't enough. I have to get me 2 jobs. He got a job, but he wasn't making that much. So we went through the little struggle, but we went through it together. And then I got a phone call. That phone call was, hey, you applied for a job over here and we want to know if you're still interested. And I'm like, yeah. Come to the interview and you got to take a test. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I did that, and then I went to the interview, and it was a 3-step process. And I got to the second process, and the man said, I said, well, how much will I be making? He said, oh, well, we're going to start you at $52,000 plus commission. I said, what? $52,000 plus commission? For real? He was like, yeah. I said, okay. So I go home and I tell my mate, and I tell my daughter's father, honey, this job I applied for, $52,000 a year. He was like, for real? I said, yeah. He said, well, so what you gonna do? You gonna take it? I said, I don't know. And we both looking at each other, we smiling, we like, okay. God was working. That's the way it works. When you have a full soul attachment, everything is up from there. Because now you're in the mind frame of making things better. So you're able to see a little bit clearer because you're happier. But when you're unhappy, you can't see clear. So I was in complete happiness with this mate. And I was able to see clear. He made me comfortable. I trusted him. You know, we had our little spats and arguments, but it didn't last. He'd go away for a day or two. He'd come back. We were good. God brought more happiness because the household was happy. That's the way it works. It's the process. People don't like to accept the process. You don't physically have to stand in front of a minister to be married to a person, to get that documentation. When God says that the souls are complete, you are married to that person. You have soul ties. This is why the government even decided to say, hey, if people don't want to stand in front of a minister and get married and just want to live in soul ties, that's up to them. But we will connect them. Because when you build together. This is why they implemented that. Our government is based on our Bible. If y'all would read the Bible, y'all will understand the way our government works. And y'all wouldn't be complaining all the time. But y'all don't really read the Bible. Y'all claim y'all Christians. Y'all claim y'all Muslims. Y'all claim y'all Seventh-day Adventists and Jehovah's Witnesses. But if you don't really read the Bible, you don't understand how the government works. Because it's built on God. In the way the government was in the Bible. It's like God matches the mates. Okay, well, this one works good together. Their souls bond really well. Okay, well, I'm going to put an anointing on them. He does his magic. However God does it. I'm not God, so I don't know. But he said, okay, I like these two. Yeah, they're bonding really well. They're working really well together, too. Okay, I'm going to throw something at them. There's a big anointing. Go ahead and get to what y'all need. Make it work. They're not cheating. They're loving each other. They're being respectful. They're just doing what they need to do. But you can't have chaos. This way, I'm going to use my daughter's father. We lived in Maryland. And everybody knew that we had a soul attachment. Everybody in the whole area. That's Eric's girl. They say, that's Eric's girl. They wouldn't talk to me. You know, like try to talk to me and disrespect Eric. You know, they just say, hello. Hey. They knew. And they just saw us elevate. But then we'll elevate again. Then here comes the baby to complete the soul ties. That was 3 years in of the relationship. God had to complete it. Man woman, and baby. That's the way it works. And all we did was elevate. So people, when you start going out here and you see these other pretty women, and quiet as kept, if you truly in love or you are truly committed, you don't see nobody else. And that's just the way it is. You don't see nobody else. You see your mate and your mate only. You may look at a person like, oh, those shoes are nice. Oh, that person's hair is nice. You look at your mate like, you know, like, oh, you like that hairstyle? Right, I'll try it. But that person, it looks nice on that. I don't mean it's going to look nice on me. But I'll try it just because you like it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like my boyfriend would try to pull off my wig all the time. He didn't know that it'd be bonded down, I guess. He'd be trying to pull it, and I'd be like, stop pulling it. So you want me to wear my regular hair? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, I'll wear my regular hair. You want me to be natural? Is what you're telling me. Okay. I'll try it. If it works for me, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I won't. See, and that's the other problem. People has this thing where they want to go outside and look at other people and try to create what's the word I'm looking for? Create that in their woman because they like something that person has done or the way they look or whatever the case may be. And it's crazy because, and I'm going to use this for instance. Now, I was with my daughter's father, right? And we wore boots, vest, sweater, hoodie. This is what we wore. Okay, both of us. We very rarely wore a coat. Reason being is because we was always in a car and it was hot. And now we pulling off all of the stuff and coats are flying. We're irritable. So we really very rarely wore a coat. Unless we had to go somewhere and I had to be outside. And I met my next mate. My next mate says to me, now mind you, my next mate was younger than my daughter's father. And he says, what do you got on? You look like you're 25. And I looked at him and I said, well, I guess that's how me and my ex-mate looked then because this is what we wore. We wore vests and hoodies. So you telling me you don't like it? Okay, well, next winter I'll buy a coat. Since you don't like the vest. This is what I'm used to. This is what we did. So I was still so attached to that other man because I was still dressing the way we dressed. Because when you become soul attachment, it's more than just it's more than just the way you eat changes, the way you dress change, everything change. when you become soul attached in a committed relationship because y'all start to work together. That's the way it works. So, like, I'm going to use this for instance. One time we was going out and we was just running to the store, me and my daughter's father. And I'm like, oh, where's my coat? Where's my coat? I can't find it. He said, here. He just gave me one of his hoodies. Just throw on his hoodie. I'm like, okay. So I throw on his hoodie and we go. He said, oh, you look kind of cute. That hoodie on. Really? Okay, I'm going to go buy a couple more. Because I don't want to take all yours. So I'm going to buy some and match with you. He was okay with that. His woman have a hoodie and some Timbs on. But this new one, he wasn't okay with that. But our relationship didn't work either. Okay, so you have to be comfortable with yourself in order to understand what you build in your mates. Me and Eric wore hoodies, Timbs, and was well respected. Not because of what we had on, what we stood for. We was a power couple coming through. They knew the bank account was right. It's all about the net. It had nothing to do with the way I was dressed. And see, that's what people confuse themselves. They want you to be all lavish and have all of this and have all of that. And then in actuality, they don't have no money in their bank account. So it's a lot to this relationship thing. You have to come into agreement with a lot of things and commit. And that's just the way it works. People make it bigger than what it really is. Once you sign up, meaning get a soul tie with a person, at that moment, that person becomes your other half and you treat them the way you want to be treated. That's the way it works. It's simple. But people make it difficult. And this is why there's chaos. I used to know when my mate had an attitude. I walked by him, and if he rolled his little eyes or whatever, he got an attitude with me. All right, I'm going to the room. He'll come back there in a minute and say something. If he don't come all day, he must be furious. Let me go see what's wrong with him. Now I got to ask. I have to inquire. Okay, what's the problem? Well, you did X, Y, and Z. Oh, so you was going to hold it in. You wasn't going to tell me. And then you was acting like this. I get PMS. I'm getting older. All of that comes along with it. You got to accept me the same way. And see what's going on with me. Come and ask some questions. Hey, you've been acting crazy or acting a little up. What's going on with you? I don't know. Maybe I need to go to the doctor. Is it affecting you? Yeah, it's affecting me. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the doctor and see if something is unbalanced. It's simple. But people tend to make things harder than what it really is. All you have to do is accept the truth. As we get older, things change. Every day we're getting older. Every day that we experience something new out in the world, we're learning new stuff. We're building who we are. So things may change. And if I'm or whoever it is acting a different way, it's a reason. Inquire. Because you may not have nothing to do with it. It may not be you. It could be the job. It could be the travel home. It could be a million and one things. But if you don't inquire, you'll never know. Then you want to feed off a negative energy that wasn't even towards you. That's why God has connected the mates. So what they know when you're not feeling right. Something ain't right. Let me go see why something is not right. You don't just ignore the facts that something ain't right. That's why he connected the two, to take care of each other. When God was building, he built Adam. He said, you need a mate. Because who's going to help you think? Even though she did some messed up stuff. And he had to let her know about it. The apple that they all talk about, that the serpent gave her. What did Adam say? Didn't God say we wasn't supposed to have that? He had to set her straight. And she might have went on with but I don't want to hear no but, because God told us that we wasn't supposed to have that. And you proceeded to do what you wanted to do, being stubborn. That's the way it works. You take care of each other. Honesty, trust. That's just the way it works. I never took it offensive. If it could have been a day, I worked hard, come home, take off my shoes, feet smelling rough. And Erica say, your damn feet smell. I said, I know. I was working a lot and sweating. He's like, what the hell? Something ain't right. Don't wear those socks no more. Meaning those type of socks. Because there was a time in my life I would work hard and I would come home and my feet wasn't smelling. But because I wore these type of socks this particular day, my feet start smelling. Or I didn't wear socks at all with a particular type of shoe and my feet start smelling. But I can only take that from him. Honey, that ain't right. He had to let me know that wasn't right. Fix it. And I'm like, okay. You'd rather me tell you than somebody else tell you. And you're right, because we have a soul attachment. I trust you. I love you. You love me. And I know you're not going to tell me nothing that's going to hurt me. I used to always do this. I would jump out the shower. And he'd be like, come on. He'd be rushing me. He know I take hours to get ready. Because I smoke my cigarettes. I got to drink my Red Bull. I jump in the shower and he's like, look, would you come on? Let's go. And I'm like, hold on. I'm coming. I forget to put lotion on my feet. All right. And he'll look me up and down. He was like, where you going with them feet? You ain't going to the store with me like that. And I'm like, oh shit, it is kind of getting ashy. Hold on, let me find some more lotion. That's why I always keep lotion and something in my car. Because I forgot. I'm moving too fast. And he rushing me. And then I bet you he was saying in his head, damn, if I wasn't rushing her, she could have did all of that. But I rushed her, and now she got ashy feet. So now here it is in the car, I'm putting on lotion on my feet because I don't want to embarrass him because he's my other half. But he almost embarrassed himself because he rushed me. So it was an easy fix. I've learned to keep lotion in the car just in case he rushed me. I could put the lotion on before I go in the store. Something simple as that can cause chaos in a relationship if your mate is not honest. I was happy when my mate told me stuff, because that gave me room to grow. None of us are perfect. We come in each other's lives to implement new things and grow. That's the way it works. So, think twice before you start dipping and dabbing in different relationships. Know what you want. Make that soul tie. And be happy. It's simple. But if you keep, what's the word I'm looking for? If you keep denying, forcing, lying, it's never going to work. And that's just what it is. Today's generation, we got a lot of liars, a lot of cheaters, and then they wonder why they're unhappy. Oh, I hate women. Oh, I hate men. We hate them because we didn't want to change. Or they don't want to change. This is why you listen to, what's that song by Usher, Venus and Mars? Women and men come from different entities. That's what it seems. However, when we come together, we become one. Just like in the universe is whole. You have to begin the process. And that process is committing to that person. And if you can't commit, you will never be happy. It's like I had to tell my mate, I don't cheat. I can't because I don't like the unbalanced feeling. Makes me feel uneasy. I moves on to the next. I will be committed to you. It's not easy, especially when you got jobs and kids and all that other stuff. But you got to do what you got to do. What you're not getting from this particular person, you need to tell them, hey, this is what I'm not getting from you. This is what I need from you in order for us to progress, in order for us to move forward in our commitment in a relationship. The moment you tell me that we're not in a relationship, now I think you're crazy. Because everyone is in a relationship if they're dealing with a person, whether it be a friendship relationship or a mate relationship. So you've been in my life all this time and we're not in a relationship? Get your mind together. Now you sound like you need a doctor. This is why you have to be aware of some of the people that you deal with, because they be sick. And the reality of it, they don't know God, they don't know honesty, they don't know trust, they don't know love. They don't know what they're looking for. And those type of people, the reason why they don't know what they're looking for is because they have soul attachments to all of these people. And you can't have soul attachments to a bunch of people. The love is different. Yeah, we can love our parents. We can love our children. But you can't have soul attachment with all these people. It's a different type of soul attachment. It's a different type of love. So if you're carrying around all these souls, you ever heard of lost souls? That's when a person, I had a pastor tell me that I was a lost soul. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I said, you probably don't even know what a lost soul is. But I didn't speak upon it. I just watched him. I said, ooh, I'm not the one that's lost. You're the one that's lost. And if they listen to this podcast, they'll know who they are. Completed souls is a person that don't deal with too many people. Okay? Because they can't have soul ties to all these different people. This is why most pastors have wives, to block the souls of the people that he's preaching to. Because he can't have their souls. He can only have his wife's soul. He's only there to teach. That's why she sits in the front row. So he can look at the church people, but then his wife is still there. His eyes is always going to glance to her. Y'all watch pastors and their wives. That's why she sits in the front row. The people sit behind her. It's designed that way because her soul is there to block any other soul that would try to come in. I don't know if y'all saw this funny post on Facebook where the lady said, the lady said, Pastor so-and-so, can you take me home? And the woman stopped her. Hold on. You want my husband to take you home? You come through me. And then I will go to him and say, hey, honey, can we drop off so-and-so? I was cracking up because that's the way it's done. That's just the way it's done. Even if this woman is a demon, the demon has to be let in. And even if the wife lets her in, the wife can then turn around and say, we're not giving her a ride no more. I didn't like the energy. See, that's why you're there to protect each other. That woman could have been someone that was after her husband. But she felt the negative energy when the third party came in. This is not pure. I could feel it. Okay, honey, we not dropping her off no more. So when she acts next Sunday, I'm going to tell her, no, we got something to do. The husband has to be in agreement. That's why God paired us up to protect us from the negative energies, from the negative people, from the demons. Because you can't do it alone. But if you're walking around with all these souls, you really can't do it. Because you're not pure. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss Jay-Z Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. I love y'all. Just wanted to throw this out there. When I see these posts and I see these girls talking, and sometimes I just shake my head, like some of the things that they say, and I get why they say it, you know. However, some of it just be wrong, and if we don't address it, they're going to keep thinking the same way, and they're going to be running around having soul attachments to all these different people, and they're going to be miserable. I'm going to throw this in there. After my boyfriend told me we wasn't in a relationship, I did a post. I said, okay, well, I'm going back outside. He didn't understand why I was in the house all the time. I'm supposed to be. You want your woman or your wife to walk amongst the demons? To see other men? And I noticed all he did was he'd text me, be like, where you at? Where I'm at, I'm in the house. Where I'm supposed to be. I go to work, go to the store, buy food, do whatever I got to do, and come home. Because there's nothing out there for me if I'm in a relationship. You want me to have soul ties with other people? You want to gain other people's souls? Is that what you're looking for? Then I'm not the one. Because I'm going to be safe at home. And when you call, you're going to say, you shouldn't even have to call. It's this time, my baby should be at home. I'm going by the house. You shouldn't even have to call. Because you should know. You shouldn't have to ask me where I'm at. You should know. The moment that you have to ask a person where they at and y'all in a relationship, something is not right. Not going to say if you had a job that you were freelancing running around like when I used to drive Instacart. And sometimes no, I'm going to say sometimes. Because Eric would never say to me, where you at? Oh, yes, he would. Eric would say, what store you at? All right, look, can you pick me up X, Y, and Z? All right, I got you. Okay, talk to you when you get home. That's the only reason why you would ask your mate where they at. If you are connected, you're supposed to know your mate's every move. If your mate don't call you at a certain time, something is not right. That's the way it works. Once again, this is Jacqueline Richardson, Ms. JT Diamond, Jackie Deja. I hope this helped y'all out. I hope y'all can get better relationships. And I hope even with myself that I can run into someone that is godly. Because I lost out on the last one that's godly because I had the negative demons, the negative souls still coming in. Because didn't want to detach himself after he didn't want it. So I hope this helps y'all out, and I hope even for myself that I can run into someone that knows the way God works. And you don't have sex with a person that you don't want to build a relationship with. You just don't do it. It creates chaos. Anytime a man feels like he needs to cheat, you have no other choice but to break soul ties. That's the way it's done. I'll talk to y'all soon.